Hey y'all, Crystal here from ChristaCoDesign. Today we're working up the Asti Scarf, which uses this sport weight comfy cotton, about 329 yards. I'm using the shade Flamingo. Your gauge is 18 stitches by 30 rows after blocking to 4 inches, and that's measured in stockinette. The finished measurements for this lacy scarf are 8 inches wide by 70 inches long after blocking. You can easily adjust those. For a wider or narrow scarf, you can add or subtract in multiples of 4 to my cast on. To lengthen or shorten the scarf, just continue or stop early the 4-row repeat. And remember to stop after row 4 and end with 3 rows of knit all if you are changing the length. Okay, for this scarf we're using 4mm US size 6 knitting needles. It is knit flat. You also need your yarn needle, measuring tape, scissors. I'm going to use the long tail cast on here. You can use any cast on that you prefer. I'll cast on 31 for the same size scarf. Your stitch multiple is 4 plus 3 more if you are going to modify or change it to a completely different number. But I find it easiest just to add or subtract in 4s to my cast on of 31 when you're making changes. Okay, so I'm showing you the long tail cast on here for a couple of stitches, and then I'll finish it off camera, and I'll link up in the description the full long tail cast on video should you need it. Okay, so I've cast on my 31 stitches. Again, you can cast on a multiple of 4 and then add 3 more if you want to change the width. Okay, now I'm ready to start knitting my first row. For rows 1, 2, and 3, you will knit all. My tail from the long tail is getting in the way, so I'll just pull that down and keep knitting. When I reach the end of row 1, I'm going to turn my work and knit all for row 2. Turn my work and knit all for row 3. Okay, that brings me to the end of row 3. I'm going to quickly double check my stitch count as we're going to start our lace stitch pattern next. And I am looking at the right side now of my work. All the odd number rows will be your right side. So I'm going to go ahead and mark that. Okay, so for row 4, we're going to start by knitting the first 3 stitches. Then I'm going to yarn over, and I'll use my finger to trap that. Then I will knit together the next 2 stitches. Then I will knit the next 2. Knit 1, knit 2. Now I'm going to repeat those. Start with the yarn over, knit 2 together, and then knit the next 2 stitches. And I'll just keep repeating that across the row. Here are the last 4 stitches of the row. We're ending our last repeat with a yarn over, knit 2 together, and then knit in the last 2 stitches. And that ends row 4. Turn our work, and for row 5, we're on the right side of our work, and we're going to knit all across. If this is your first time to knit yarn overs, they're very big and loose, which is what we want. This makes the little eyelets or lace in our pattern. Okay, we're finishing up row 5 here, and we're going to turn our work. We're on the wrong side for row 6. We'll begin with a knit 1. You can see our little eyelets there, very nice now that we've knit them. Okay, for row 6, we'll begin with a knit 1, then we'll yarn over, knit 2 together, and knit in the next 2 stitches, and then begin our repeat. Yarn over, knit 2 together, knit in the next 2. We'll repeat that across until the last 2 stitches. That ends our repeat, and we have 2 stitches left. We're going to yarn over and then knit the last 2 together. It's a good idea here to check your stitch count. That last yarn over before the knit 2 together is one spot you might make a mistake if you miss the yarn over, and you'll throw your stitch count off, and you won't notice it for a couple of rows when you get back to doing the stitch pattern. So take a minute to make sure that you've got your stitch count correct before moving on. Okay, for row 7, we're just going to knit all. Okay, and that ends our repeat. Now we will repeat rows 4, 5, 6, and 7 until your scarf is at least 60 inches or your desired length. My scarf pictured here is about 70 inches long after blocking. Okay, once your scarf is as long as you like, we're just going to finish off with 3 rows of knit all, just like we started with. After you finish those last 3 rows, it's time to bind off. We're just going to use a regular, simple bind off. If you have another bind off you'd like to use, you're welcome to do that. For the basic bind off, we're just going to knit the first 2 stitches. Insert the left needle into the first stitch and pull it over the second. Knit the next one. Insert your needle into the first loop and pull it over the second, and then just keep repeating that across until the end. I'll link up a full bind off tutorial for you in the description. Okay, on that last bind off stitch, you're just going to pull up a long loop and cut your yarn, leave enough to weave in your ends, and you're ready to block your scarf.